Afternoon, afternoon. Stevie boy. All day. In a rush again today. I haven't even got anything to drink, man. Like that. Totally sober on a Saturday, unheard of. Oh, you know when you're watching live, and then the live finishes, so YouTube just plays the next thing on your list or whatever recommended. So how do you go from watching Flavours live, jump in the shower, come out, and Carl Froch versus who was it? George Groves. God knows what year. The full fight. Crazy behaviour. Now then, Vander. Yes, not stuck. Nos. So how did I get that bet up last night then? It was the three same teams, wasn't it? I don't even know. I think I'd already picked them. I think I'd already put that on when I seen you for the chat last night. I'm on fire, like, whatever. Whichever way you want to put it. I've never had so many bets up, sports bets in all my life as this week. I think I need to quit while I'm ahead. Yeah, all right, man. I made a few £100. It's been Nostog's fault though, and them night shifts. Nostog's a bad influence, like. So every time I'm on night, you can guarantee there'll be loads of NBA. I might have a look at baseball as well. There's a baseball season started yet. Can you all hear us all right? Anyway, I'm just getting just at the world's quickest shower there, so I'll stick this cam on in a bit. So I've done my hair and that. What's happening now? Are you getting a new swimming pool, like, at work? Well then, Dennis, are you a graft, aren't you? Oh, mate, they killed me this week, Dennis. The 2 night shifts. First one was a bit of a novelty, so that got me through that one. But the second one, by 1 o'clock, ready to walk out again, mate. Exactly the same, man. Exactly the same as last year when I was losing my rag. Just running about like an idiot. That's what it is, isn't it? You get the new enclosure or whatever it is. Yeah, it's probably a good fight, this, on Carl Froch. Is it George Groves? I never really followed Carl Froch. I know he was decent, like. And I'm pretty sure these two had a few good battles, didn't they? Hey, Dennis, when's AJ fighting in Ghana? I thought it was this weekend, you know. I've been telling people. Been telling people it's this weekend, man. I'm not a boxing expert anyway. In fact, I think you've, because I haven't seen much of you this week, mate, I'll be honest. I haven't seen much of you this week. But I've been absolutely on fire, man, with the bets. I think he's coming up in it. Imagine how much water it's going to take to fill them pool. Bet you have to leave the hose pipe on, like, for a couple of weeks, don't you? How many litres of water's in that swimming pool? Like, well, they were having a laugh the other day, like on night when I was on night. I did a live on my break. I did two. But I've got this app on my phone, tells me how many steps I've done. That's how I know if why my feet are aching. So I did 20,000 steps the other night. I asked the question, what's that in kilometres or meters, miles? I don't even think anyone told us, right? They told me everything, but they told me how many millimeters it was, how many yards it was, how many meters. 2.5 million liters. And is that just, do you have to put anything in that water? Or is it just, yeah, you can't, because you can't be putting there. I'm thinking of swimming pools, you know, because I used to work in a gym, right, when I left school a long time ago. And they had a jacuzzi in a swimming pool, yeah. So every 4 hours we had to go and check the pH of the water, you know, for the chlorine level and that. It has to be kept at a certain level, especially the jacuzzi as well. I used to have to do these tests, and we had to just basically pour pure chlorine in the filters. Honestly, that smell. But the jacuzzi's the worst because it's hot. It like breeds bacteria and that, doesn't it? Even though it's nice, but always remember when you first put the chlorine in, because the jacuzzi's bubbling, you get a lot of spray, and used to get in your eyes and that. You know, when we just put the chlorine in. 50 tons of salt. Oh yeah. Yeah. So is that water salty though? If you got a bit in your mouth, you must have been in that pool a few times, out, surely. You must have fell in. Like, when was the last time you fell in? I can't believe it. I won't believe it if you say it. But like, what, like fact? Drinking? Going to the pub? Oh, we've got the Cheltenham coming up soon, haven't we? When's Cheltenham fact? Can you confirm that? Definitely, it's St. Patrick's Day, isn't it, that week? Cheltenham's great, even if you don't like horse racing, which I do like. I do like the big meetings. Not gonna lie, but Cheltenham's just a bit special, isn't it? We did book up to go one year. I've said this story loads of times. Like, so me and my mate, we'd booked to go to Cheltenham, you know, doing the 3 days hotel and all that. I've never been before, but all my mates have been. So we all paid our money and all that. Talking about it for weeks and weeks ahead, weeks and weeks in advance, like dead exciting and everything. And then it was only that year when the swine flu. No, swine flu was it? Or bird flu, whatever it was. You know, where basically all the animals had to be slaughtered, and you couldn't. It got cancelled, man. Cheltenham got cancelled. Wounded. The only first year ever. It was the year when we'd all booked to go. Been looking forward to it for months, and it's got cancelled, man. Wounded there, like. But my mate, who was supposed to go on with us, he went the year after, and he proposed to his girlfriend, man, in the paddock bit, you know, where they're walking the horses round. He got in the middle of there, proposed to her. Took it. Yeah, therefore it's. I think it's like the second week. Yeah, man, nice one, Paul. Respect, mate. Up the borough. Borough need a win today, like, don't they? You know, I was looking at the matches. Stoke, been to that stadium. Let's not get it twisted, yeah. Stoke are a big team, aren't they? I mean, they probably had the best times are behind them, but I don't know whether they'll ever get back to that, the Premiership. But they definitely got the setup. Stokes, yeah. Oh, mate, Desert Orchid, mate. When won the gold, was it Desert Orchid won the Gold Cup? Or am I thinking of the Champion Hurdle? Oh, March the 8th. Oh, it's next week then, isn't it? Next Monday. No, hang on. What we on now? Starts on the Monday, doesn't it? Yeah, they are, like, aren't they? We stayed in this. Have you been to where the ground is? Yeah, the new ground. It's on like an industrial estate, and there was like a Premier Inn. We all went in this Premier Inn for a drink right next to the ground. I think it was. But I think last time we played them, Mark Hughes was a manager. Where's Mark Hughes these days? He sort of died to death, didn't he? That was the one. Al foot and mouth, mate. Yeah, devastated, man. Foot and mouth. You know what I mean? Talk about unlucky, man. Yeah, we had 3 days, you know, where the one where you get all suited up and all that. Yeah, I can remember being at school, right, and my English teacher, Mr. Gibson, yeah, Gibbo, he was like, we were his mates. It sounds a bit weird now, right? But me and a couple of other lads were in his English class, and he was into Morrissey and that, you know, the Smiths and Morrissey. He was like a bit of a grunge, but he was a beauty English teacher. And I remember, must have been the Cheltenham Gold Cup. And he had a little telly in the back office when he was doing the class. And we could see the telly, and he had the horse racing on behind, like, while he was doing the class, because he had a fiver on Desert Orchid in the Cheltenham Gold Cup. I remember we were like, "What's that, sir?" He was like, oh, "I've got a fiver on Desi." We were like, the fiver back in there, what was this, 1987? Fiver was a fiver. Yes, Clint, I see a bit. Fiver's a fiver, isn't it? And I think it won, and he was going, "Come on, Desi," while the class was on. Yeah, I think it's a bit inappropriate, isn't it? I don't even think you're allowed to be mates with your teacher. I don't know. It was different if it was a female teacher, but yeah, when we left school, we kept in touch with him. He used to have this thing here, so he's like into the Smiths and Morrissey and all that, right? And he had like good curly hair and all. He was just a bit grungy, you know what I mean? And but he drove a Volkswagen Beetle, right? It was orange, like a burnt orange, horrible. And he used to go get us to clean his car or get stuff out of his car. Will you go and will you go to the car and get me some out of the car? This is what it's like at school, man. I always remember going in his car, right? And he was one of them, you know, where you just loose change falls out your pocket. And like, or you just, you know, you don't look after your car. I always remember when he always used to have about a tenner all over the floor in like 20 pences and pound coins, 50 pences and all that. There's no early Premiership game, is there? Yeah, that must be the only time when the government has actually done something right, isn't it? Stop the tax on bets. Remember, yeah, you always used to, if you were putting a pound on it, it was like tax 10 pence, pound 10. It was a bit like Neanderthal, that like. But yeah, this boxing that I've got in here must be from years ago. Amir Khan's getting interviewed there. He was a bit of a letdown, wasn't he? What do you think of Amir Khan? Dennis likes his boxing. I've already added that thingy. It might be up now actually. So Dostog, that that basketball one was still going on last night I fell asleep. So I only knew when I logged on this morning and seen the ballots. I knew that it had won. That's when I seen your. I haven't put me full football bet on. I have put one football bet on this morning. Just a little bit of interest, but I haven't. I'm going to go for. We go for 3 draws. I know I've got Huddersfield Leeds for a draw. Got Huddersfield Leeds for a draw in the early kickoff. Bristol City home win, and I've got Hanover. Oh, they will get beat 2-0, you know, on the 2-all now, and I've got them for a win. Yeah, no happening now. Like, no good there. Like, let's Hanover score now in the last minute. But it's happened this week, though, hasn't it? I'll have a look. Put the Sky Sports news on in a bit. Saturday in a minute. 3 draws, I think, today. Like, if you think about Nostog, right? He's another one I learned, right? So 3 draws. You look at it about, well, you're going to get about 25 to 130 you want for 3 draws, right? So 5 is going to get you 150 bar for 3 draws. Sounds easy, doesn't it, right? But what you do, go for correct score draws, right? Because it's either going to be 1-1 or 2-2 in it. I'm sure you get 14 to 1 for a 2-2 draw. So obviously, you don't get many 3-3 games. 1-1, yeah. But 2-2, you do get quite a lot of 2-2 draws, you know. If you get mixed up 14 to 1, one of them. Yeah, that's what I need to look into. So what bet would that have to be? Unless you pick another one and do like a lucky 15, then you get some back, don't you, if one of them wins. What about a 1-1? If I do a 1-1 treble, yeah, but where if one of them loses, I still get money back. What's that on a treble? Which bet's that? Oh, big time, mate. And the form I'm on this week, The form I'm on this week, mate. Rostock knows it, man. So we'll do a treble, 1-1, 3 games. Dave Lincoln are at home today. I had a quick look this morning. Lincoln are flying. Like from what Dave was telling us, Lincoln are the form team. Let's have a look what look on this FOTMOB thing. Because you can go and it'll tell you about the teams and that, all the stats and whatever. So they're at home to Stevenage. Oh, I tell you what, I've seen the odds for a draw on there. Lincoln Stevenage. It sounds like the both must be on a good run. Which we've got, there's the odds. Stevenage. The draw over 3-1 for the draw there. That could be a banger, that, you know. But look at the odds: 2.7 and 2.75. So both must be on a decent run. Stevenage have won the last 2 games 1-0. Lincoln have won the last 3 games without letting a goal in. That looks like a 1-all, that, you know. That's looking like a 1-all all over. They both don't let many goals in, and yeah, that's got to be it there. I'd have to have a look for the 1-all. Let's have a look. So, you know what? I haven't learned. I've only been putting. I've never put a score draw bet on 365. Let's have a look. You might be able to confirm that. 6 wins and 9, second best defence. Yeah, so they're not going to let many more than 1 goal in, are they? I mean, Huddersfield have beaten Leeds. Huddersfield are still 13-5 to win the game, right? And they're 1-0 up with 30 minutes to go. And you can still get nearly 3-1 on there. Oh, they're down to 10 men. See, you know what? That's why I think we know about this, you know, the spread betting us when imagine how many people are working them games though, like for the bet for the bookies. Just the must, well, it's probably an app, isn't it, that changes all the odds when like someone gets sent off, the odds have got to go up for the other team, haven't they, or down for the. But that's it. Like there must be somebody watching. I know I haven't put it on yet, like, but it does sound like a 1-1 draw all day. That like, but yeah, there must be somebody watching. Must be somebody watching the games, you know, because you just tell when a team's on top, can you? Even if they're the underdogs, you can just feel a goal coming, can you? And like, the bookies aren't after. Right, so I've never put a bet on. I've never on Bet365 markets Asian lines. What's that? Asian lines? What's all that about? Asian lines, cards, corners, goals, half-time, player, specials. Yeah, well, so do I want full-time result? both to score and Lincoln win. I reckon you can get. I reckon you could probably get about 8-1 for one all draw. So, use a League One like Dave. Use it League One. Yeah. Dave, Lincoln aren't even the favourite. Lincoln are 17-10. 11-5. 11-5 for the draw. Four might have to be 4-1-1 draws then. On like a lucky 15. Lucky 15. 4-1-1 draws. What about that? What about that, Nos? Yeah, I found Ladbrokes dead easy, mate. Like this. So I've got all that up there, all this. What's Lincoln and no favourites there? Stevenage 7-4, innit? What's happening on YouTube anyway? Last night I had quite an early one last night, So body clock's been absolutely fucked this week. But so I don't remember, can't even remember who was on last night. Can't remember. Just been watching a bit of Danny G there though this morning, yeah. Danny G's latest. This is the latest video that he's done, yeah. All right, Sean, lad. Just been about Cheltenham there to March the whatever. What did Dennis say? March the 10th or something. Yeah, so Danny G, yeah. His latest video this morning was only 15 minutes long. Golf or boxing, yeah. Loads of question marks. I thought, oh, that's interesting. So I listened to the whole lot about 15 minutes. Basically, he's saying that his passion is golf, yeah. He only got this passion back. He only relit his passion about 3 weeks ago when he had an epiphany on the golf course. Like I was watching it live. He'd been really struggling, saying he played brilliant shots, but they were crap. But he just wasn't feeling it, and then he played this little 8-iron chip off the green, right? Still there on one of his lives. I'd have to find it. It was only a few weeks ago. So he plays this little 8-iron, right? He went off the other side of the green, but as he was walking across the green, he just had this epiphany. And he told the viewers in the chat, there was only about 20 of us, he said, I know what I'm doing wrong. I know. You just watch you watch on the next hole. Oh my God, I know what I'm doing wrong. I know what I'm doing wrong. And it just took over him. And he couldn't wait to get to the next tee to try to see if it was right. But he wouldn't tell us. He says, I'm not going to tell you what it is. Just watch the next 3 holes. And it was that he was swinging too fast. That was his epiphany 3 weeks ago, and this has led to this. Always been this obsession with golf, right? I mean, he couldn't have been a worse time for his hand. You know, he was devastated. He was just, he realised all these years what he'd been doing wrong. But now he wasn't going to have the chance to put it into action. So now with his bad hand, because he finished, because he played all right, he's now like thinks he's going to be a pro and all this. So he's saying this morning, like, my passion's golf. Next year I want to be down to 0. I'm playing off 8 now. Mate, you're not playing off 8 there. Like, come on, man. We'll see. I've never seen him play off. He'd be lucky if he plays off 14. I'm not kidding. He'd be lucky from what I've seen, like, and there's just too much. I seen him live only last week, when he's walking down the fairway after he's just played one of his perfect shots, yeah. And so he talks to the camera. I don't know if any of you have seen it, right? But they're absolutely like hilarious, because he just talks you through exactly like, but he's watched too many golf videos, you know, about get your handicap down. But he just believes everything he says, right? And last week he just topped it all off. He said, someone put in the chat there something to do with being a pro, and he just no lie turned around with the camera. He said, I could have been a pro, you know, Mush. Could have been a pro, yeah, but I got married instead because my wife's more important, and I spent the 25 grand on marrying my wife in Turkey, give her a great wedding. And I could have been a pro. I could have been a pro if I hadn't got married. There were his words. And like, in the 4 hours that he's live, when he does 18 goals, there's just too much content. There's just too much to like. If I was doing a review, which I wanted to do, right, I would be pausing it every 2 seconds and just contradicting every single thing he says. Like, you get on the tee, right, put it down. I'll just halfway down the fairway, nice, easy 3-wood, because I can hit my 3-wood 350 yards. You can't hit the 3-wood 350 yards. For start, the course that he's playing, you can't even call that course, right? It's just like it's a field with a few trees in it. It's only a 9-hole course. He plays it twice. That's his 18. But he exaggerates the yardages. You know, it's unbelievable. To the point where if I wanted to, I could go and have a look at that course where he plays and look on the website, and they'll tell you the yardages of every hole. But what Danny will do is he'll add 50 yards on the tee, and then he'll say he's into the wind, and he lit his drive, and he'll say perfect, right in the middle, perfect, about 320 yards. I just took it easy. It's just, man, I don't even know what it is with him. What is that? What is that when you just over exaggerate everything and you start to just believe everything that you say? You know what I mean? Put in his chat the other day, Danny, I've told you 1,000,000 times, do not exaggerate. Another one of my favourites there. Right, Lincoln's a definite one. Lincoln is going in that bet, mate. 1-1. But you'll have to tell me how to do the bet, though. Hacker. Yeah, hacker. I've never called him a hacker, but he's definitely deluded. Some other words I can use for him. annoying. I couldn't not play around the golf with Danny. Like, fancy Walsall as well, do you? So have a look how you do the right things down, right? Yeah, plenty of other words. Yeah, you could just contradict him all day. You could, like what clip YouTube's doing, where things that never happened, It's got, you could do that in one golf video, right? You could probably make 100 of what clip YouTube's doing just from one of his videos, just contradicting everything he says. Walsall and Lincoln, yeah. So, Nos, if they get beat, right, we've got fact. We can blame fact for the Walsall and Smithers for the Lincoln, mate. So we've got that sorted. Let's have a look at another one here. Let's have a look. Let's go in the championship. Let's go in the championship for a 1-all. I tell you what, I will have a sneaky bet on QPR to beat Leicester as well. How can they be 13-2? Leicester are now flashing on. You know what, mate? You want to, you can go Middlesbrough if you want. Like, I'll break the habit of a lifetime. It probably has got a draw written all over it, like, but I was just keeping away from it because I always say, like, never back the Borough because they're always letting down. But because I'm on fire this week, go for that. Let's have a look for another one. Pick one more, 1-1 draw. Just one more. Fulham Brighton. If you want to go Fulham Brighton, mate, then that's the 4. That's the 4. And then we're all to blame then. Also on Lignan. Now then, Quimbar, lad. What's happening, Quimbar? Quimbar, you going to do any more panels or what, mate? You're an absolute legend on the panels, man. It's like, yeah, it was Tunes's, wasn't it, where he went on? Yep. Yeah, then you'll have to tell me how to put it on. You fancying a bit of that, mate, Dave? 1-1, lucky 15, 4 draws and 4 1-1s. I haven't put it on yet, but because I don't know how to mix it all up. So, yeah, Bet365 have got loads of stats and all that. Having a look at all the stats. Those are all the mad stats. I didn't even know that was there, mate. Bet365 when you click on the little stats thing. think I've got it. I've got it. Correct score. So correct score, 1-1. It's 11-2. Right. Also, sorry. Yeah, also. I think I've sussed this out, like, you know. I think I've sussed it out. 5-1 for that. Stevie Boy's back. Yes. Yes, my G. So we got Chris M in today, yeah. I think it's his first time in. He's only from up the road. He used to go drinking with, you know, that fella who done the canoe, went out in the canoe and pretended he was dead and that, and was living in a loft in his in a hidden room or something in his house. That was Chris's drinking partner. That he lives on the coast there of very famous port of Hartlepool, Hartlepool Marina. I was up there this year, man, for the tall tree. Went to the tall ships. Big up the Quaver. Right, I just need to put one more of these on because I'm on a roll with this now. I think I've sussed out how to do it. We've got this bet going on. Like 2. Also don't Leicester. 6-1 for that. Yeah, so show Chris M. He's because he hasn't been in this chat before on a Saturday. I don't think he's been in my chat anyway. But he has been about for a while. I seem to go in the same chat, you know, Jim Smith. I know he's a Jim Smith fan. Usually warms up Chris and start ripping each other. Oh, Ice has got a new saying now. I haven't seen him use the word generic for a while. About a week, well, 5 days. But he's got a new one now. You'll see this. Barely an inconvenience. You'll see that a lot over the next week or two till he milks the life out of it. Is it? Well, at the minute I've got one more. I've got the Fulham game to put in, and just that trebles 272-1. Just for the what treble. So stick this Fulham in. One 9-1-0. Heister, the Borough Heister. Heister, I've brought the habit of a lifetime today, mate, and I'll bet on the Borough to draw. I think it will be a draw, but I wouldn't. Is it lucky 15? Nostog. I think he's done one for a bit, and I'm not sure of these nicknames. What are you, Fact? Are you Squidgy? Are you? Squidgy. Squiddy. You know what? I was laughing last night. Do you think you'll ever get the glory days back, like Chris? Have they had any glory days? I think the glory was because Jeff Stelling has got something to do with it, and he save them, Jeff Stelling. I know there's another businessman, Hartlepool businessman, who's pulled him out the shit, and he. See, guys, you're not too bad, mate. You're not too bad when you try to be funny. You know what I mean? Just just when you turn into grass and that, there's no room for that. So lucky 15, lucky 15. Let's go mad. Let's go mad. 50 pence, lucky 15. 50 pence. No. £1, lucky 15. Let's go mental. Don't they like you? That's what I was going to say last night on Jim Smith's when Jalise and Cindy were on. I should have jumped on, right? Because let's face it, right? Let's face it. Jalise, I think it's safe to say, right, that Jalise is probably the #1 respected supermod right about now on all the channels we watch. Jalise is like, I mean, you've got the Ice Queen, haven't you? Who, let's face it, it's not getting much love off anyone over this side, right? But she has her own skills. Like she can watch about 3 lives at once and mod on all of them. She doesn't know how to share a link. You know, you're not going to get no link shared, and that's where Jalise stands out, because you go in Jalise and Cindy's channel, you just say hi on one of their music videos, and they'll stick your link in straight away, and they're always promoting other people. And Cindy as well. Nobody's picking subs up like Cindy is. It's unbelievable. Like it's a bit of I've turned it into like a bit of a joke with her, you know, saying she's buying them and that. But I want to know, like, if she has done something different, because she's been about for ages, but she's picking subs up like 1,000 a week. I still get on with this Midnight Foot Soldier, because I think that's where I first. I think that is where I first like sort of come across you, but I'm doubting that you got to get on with him. That's it. Yeah, so Chris M, yeah, I think we all know Chris M, right? He's quite funny in the chats and that. I've had a few bad banters with him. But where he first turned up, where I first seen Chris M was Jim Smith's. You know, when Jim Smith first started going live, Chris was probably his biggest fan. You know what I mean? He was always in the chats. I think it's the right person, isn't it, Chris? So I don't know where was your allegiance to Jim Smith? Where did that come from? Is it? That's where I've got Dave. I've got that. I've got that in there, but I think it's already down though. I've got Bristol City as well to beat Cardiff, and Cardiff were winning 1-0, so it would have been no good there. Oh yeah. Well, look after you, Dave. Is that where? But how come, Chris? She's picking them up like at least 500 a week. If she's been about for a long time, if she was getting 500 a week, she should be on more than. It's like she just took off over the last few weeks. Because in this community, she's going to turn out to be like she's going to be the biggest subs wise. There's not many people, you know. I think Torb's got 15,000 now. Decent, you know, 15,000, mate. And I haven't seen. Oh, someone said Torb's is blocked as well. Shit, forgot about that. Didn't no one block Torb's, did they, the other day by accident? Oh, yeah, that was it. That was it. Because I keep forgetting that Jim openly admits, doesn't he? He openly admits that that's where his channel blew up, man, after the crap with Androgynous. Yeah, I need to look on this block list because for some reason Torb said he was blocked, and I wasn't. I wouldn't block Torb. You know what I mean? I don't know if anyone's done it by accident or whatever. But now Pez has single-handedly took over me block list. I think there's about 10 Pez accounts. I can't see thingy though. Can't see Torb's. Torb's is not on there, like. Definitely no Torb's. So that's a bit of a weird one, like. Right, so what's happening, man? What's happening? Well, Have you been in Flavours recently, Ace? Are you back in Flavours or what? Is Flavours giving you a pass? Like, I think Ace just had a bit of a crazy week. One of them weeks that you're having. You still watch Jim Smith though, don't you, Chris? Like, you know what? I had to laugh at Jim the other night. You could see when Gillies and Cindy were on, yeah. They always try to keep the convo like fun on there. I think Monk was on as well. So they're all having a laugh and everything, yeah. And like, it wasn't must have been killing Jim, right? Because you can see he's had 3 pints of Bacardi here. He's like an hour in. Could see he's itching to just mention Gail and me. He's like, Jalise and Cindy and Monk are like having a laugh about something else, and Jim's just, you could see him like rocking in his chair, just wanting to mention Gail, and then he just gets it in, like, and then it just totally changes. That fucking Gail, fucking you can. He just, I think at the end when he's drunk and that, like his accent comes out more, doesn't it? And you can just imagine, like, you can just imagine spending a night with Jim, like in the pub, when he's rapping. Ah, fucking hell. I know he's a nightmare. He does it to everyone though. Does it to everyone, Chris, doesn't he? He's like Tunesy there, like that's where him and Tunes very similar. Like those Tunesy, there'll be a good combo going on. Tunesy's, yeah. Like some beef going on and they're being quite civilized. You'll just see Tunes will just be bored of it after because it's not about him. Be about 10 seconds in the combo, and Tunes will just like start talking to the chat. Yeah, he always used to just come in here before he did his lives. He used to just come in here like begging for a spanner and that, saying, "Where's my spanner? Give us my spanner." And then he did. He was backstage a few times when I thought he hadn't been on a panel before because he was just one of these, in the chats. And he was backstage a few times, and they wouldn't let him on. He wouldn't let him on because it kept saying his camera wasn't there. Camera and audio, so he never managed to get on. But if you're wondering what he looks like, he does look like Don Johnson. I can confirm that. Don Johnson out of Miami Vice. He's got like a he's got like a blonde mullet, Jim Smith, bit like a Frank McAvenny, but more flowing. He wears chinos. You'll always see him out in his chinos and either sliders or deck shoes. The deck shoes. He broke his record this week though, didn't he? But wasn't he? Sure, he'd been live for like 18 hours or something. Well, I did a 12-hour night shift, and he was on before I started, and he was still playing songs when I got home to bed at like 8:15 the next morning. I have to agree, Quaver. Like, I wasn't impressed with the last one. Like, I wasn't impressed with that one night, mate. To be honest, you've done better. You've done better. Kid. You know what though? No, I've noticed that Chris. He's he's starting to play the songs earlier on in his life. So he was only like to me, whenever Jim Smith was playing songs, you knew it was like getting towards the end of his show. You know, where he's a bit pissed at everyone's like all the arguments have been on. And he started putting songs on, but he was playing them right at the start last week, the other night. But is simply the best where the Jim Smith, simply the best, Jim Smith. What was he playing the other day? The Only Way Is Up by Yaz, right? And you could just, the only way is up, baby. I've got to admit, I felt like getting up and dancing, right? But I could just like imagine Jim, playing that song on his big screen and he's live with his camera off. And he's definitely doing like chicken dance and that, and like the Running Man or something. 100%, man. You can just see him. He's probably got cowboy boots on, pair of cycling shorts, and a white tea bag vest. Can you not imagine that, like Chris? There's no way he's just sat there like this. There's Bacardi bottles all on his table in front of him, right? He's at a wooden table in his kitchen. He's got he's only got a portable telly, hasn't he? He's got YouTube on that playing the songs. Yeah. Brown sauce stains down it and that. Imagine if his camera slipped and he was doing all this, man. He had a kilt on and that. He would have to go, wouldn't he? He would have to go, wouldn't he? He'd be gone quicker than Jay-Z, man. Chris, I bet his joints are like knickknacks. Imagine him trying to like skin up one when he's wrecked. It looked like a knickknack, won't it? Light in the wrong end and that. There has to be a line somewhere, doesn't there? There has to be a cut-off line where there's no coming back from, and a kilt, and a white beater would just be the end, like. Yes, brother. Hey, you've had a quiet week, mate. You haven't been thingied, have you? What happened to Tuesday been grassing you up again, mate? Because I'll be honest, I haven't seen much of you this week, unless I've been doing night shift, so I might have missed you. But I've seen some who else is doing videos of Jimmy. Is it Incog? Where they put it on, might have been 420, where they put Jimmy's face on a woman's body and that. We did drop a clanger the other day and I heard it. It was one of these morning lives that he does, when he's driving. There was only about 5 people in, right? But I was one of them. And he was going on about 420, right? And he said, I've warned him, I've told him to take my videos down. And then he must have realised what he said. He said my videos, right? And must have realised, oh. So he did make it too obvious and change it straight away, right? He talked for a little bit. Did you say it's 420? Talked for a little bit, didn't he? And then he said, I've told him to take them videos down because this guy is not happy. Oh, it was ridiculous. Hello, YouTube, I'm Paul. I'm trying to think what it looks like, the abominable snowman, doesn't he, there? That's what a tour of Afghanistan does to you, man. Yeah, before 20, I also wanted to mention to you, right, because you'll know if this is true or not, but I put it out there the other day because I haven't heard anyone mention it, right? But Jimmy is like sort of like trying to make he's admitting to everything he's done, and he's saying, yeah, I've been an idiot and all that. But so he's trying to like make a comeback, and he like this he's trying to be liked again, isn't he, right? But what people are forgetting, and 420, you might know this, right? I'm sure that you know these dodgy links that people, I think UK lady started it, right? Putting dodgy links up on community posts where if you clicked it, it was a virus, and there it was a virus, put a virus, or it give them access to your emails or something. And I'm pretty sure that Jimmy put a few of them up, put a few community posts up, advertising something. So you click on the dodgy link, and then it was a virus. And I want to confirm that he done that. As if he did, that's shocking. That's the worst thing you can do on here for me. That. But next time we get the chance, 420, or if before me, ask him, put him on the spot about that, because I'm 99% sure that he did admit it, and nobody's like picked up on it. Because for me, that's the worst. That's just like, this wasn't a long time ago either. This was Christmas. Did he? Did he? I didn't know that. Like I thought it was UK lady, because Jimmy was always like, he used to have UK lady in his all his chats. He was always picking her up and that till. But no, I haven't. No, Scotty G. What's happening with him and Jimmy Newman then? Because it was only last week that Jimmy let it out the bag, didn't? Well, not let it out the bag, but he finally admitted what actually happened when he got to Scotty G's like the other week. He said that within half an hour, he said he'd opened the door, and he was asking him for money before he'd even shook his hand and said, "How you doing, mate?" Money for a bet or something, and then within half an hour, he was wanting money off him for some valleys. But Scotty G, he's still getting some decent numbers in, but let's face it, can you imagine Scotty G on steroids? Doesn't look like he looks like he could do 100 meters in about half an hour. It looks like he would struggle to get up off the sea, to be honest. I know, I didn't know that. Uh, so what was it doing? Was it a virus? Don't think you get many takers for that one there, Paul. That's up there with it's up there with whitening Saddam Hussein's ass. That like, oh, here we go. Let's go. Let's go. Are you off work? Like, or what? Or are you skiving? No, no way. No way. Hey, Quaver, what was that? What was that one of flavors? What? Where he was supposed to be picking his ass or something, then having the sniff of his fingers. What was that all about, man? Oh, he's not singing George Ezra. Semi-skimmed, how you doing, mate? Haven't seen you for a while, bro. Roller cola. There's only one Coke in there. Coca-Cola. Gotta be Coca-Cola. None of this Pepsi, like. George Ezra is one of my worst. One of The cheesiest. Well, it probably is the number one cheese ball. Are you still you still not being endued like Stevie Boy? You don't want the smoke. You don't want that. You want the Jude smoke, bro. Yeah, I didn't know. I'll have to have a look at that. So he's got a big Brands hatch down his back. What has he got? Like grey traggy bottoms on or something? What about that morning though, when he only dyed the front of his hair and the back was just grey? Had he ran out, or had he ran out of like dye, or what? Or had he forgot to do the back of his hair? Yeah, Quaver. It was a few weeks ago, and I haven't seen it either. I think it might have been wee Eddie that done it like already. And supposedly it was flavours, Gadgie doing a Gadgie out, scratch and sniff. I don't know, what his excuse was, because you couldn't see at first. I was watching the live. It was a couple of weeks ago on a Sunday morning, and he was just like his usual pose, but you could only see the front of his hair, and then I think he moved like that. And someone in the chat seen the grey and said, "Put your head down." The back of his hair was just grey, and everyone was just ripping him. Something hilarious, but I can't even remember his official excuse for it. Like, I thought I'd seen you in Rambo. Because Rambo was based on Paul's life, wasn't it? Dave. Oh, what happens there? What happens there then? Ah, man, that's a bad omen, that, Dave. That's a bad omen, that. I'd have to see Nostog and see what. We'll have to see what happens there. Might just be trouble now. Wait till Nostog finds out, mate. Dave, you've had it. Typical Smithers. Oh, you knobhead. Absolute knobhead. I should know better, mate. Fuck's sake. Should know better than that, like, by now. Told you, man, my head's all over. It's not funny, Baz. I swore that they would never get me again, like Daryl and Smithers and Slim. Slim's bad for it as well, right? Slim Reaper. He'd do anything to drop me in it, like, especially on the live. I remember he, like, back in the day, we'd be doing this and I'll probably have had, like, he'll know that my head's done in or whatever on panel, and then he'll see, like, Jaggy Thistle asking for the link, and I've seen it. And I'm like, oh, I can't do with Jaggy. No, I'll just ignore that. And then you'll just see Slim putting the link straight under Jaggy's message with, like, loads of arrows. Jaggy, cheers for that, mate. Keep getting Peter mixed up with Adam Sky, Does anyone else do that? Because Adam's one of the Adam, or was it Adam Scott? Yeah, it's gone. Paul, have you kicked any field goals with your cat this week? Someone put that comment in, and I was fucking bad laughing. kicked his cat for a field goal. I tell you what, though, I did see a clip from Paul Anning's live last night. Shuffling was on there, and thank God, somebody sorted his mic out, right? Shuffling's mic. I mean, his mic was fucked for a week, right? If that was anyone else's mic, that would have been kicked off a panel within 5 seconds by the host. They'll have been like, "Need to sort your fucking mic out, mate. Get out." Because it was Shuffling. They were just putting up with it, man. It was like, there's no worse than a dodgy mic, is there? Shouldn't be allowed. But they were allowing it for a week. He was on panels with the Dalek voice and all that. But yeah, he was on Paul Anning's last night. I think Celtic was on with him, and it was getting all like, I don't know, Shuffling's, he hasn't raised his voice for a while, has he? You know what I mean? But doesn't, yes, this, that, how we know, mate. Yeah, man, tis, yeah. You know what I miss? I miss my son living with me, yeah. Because my son's like 20, so he used to like, whatever I knew, I always knew what songs were in, you know, what like, as soon as a song come out, a good song, like, because he's into all the rapping and all that, you know, the Dave and Meeks and all that crap, right? Bugsy Malone. So whenever a new song come out, I'd always hear it. So I knew that I knew it was up to date, you know what I mean? But the other bonus is like hand me down clothes, you know, that he doesn't use anymore. This one is in the hand me down, but there'll be stuff that he buys that he never wears it. You know what I mean? So you got to make the most of it, man. Must have been desperation. There must have been nothing else there, Dave. That picture. I mean, did Paul forget that he'd done that video on his channel, or was that on another channel? Because I'm guessing that wasn't hard to find, even though it has only been out a couple of weeks, hasn't it? But if ever a picture epitomised like a voice or went with the voice, it's that, isn't it? It's that avatar going with the voice. You would pick it out every time, wouldn't you? Like the Abominable Snowman. You know what? I've started watching all the wacky stuff because he is the best one around, I think, isn't he? And he's got stuff. And he's got stuff from back in the day, him, like Cody Lackey and all that. Watch what you're saying around back, you know. He listens to everything, man. You can't get out past him. But I have noticed that you've been quiet this week, mate. So you do notice when you're not there, man. But obviously, you got shit going on, mate. Shit going on, ain't you? Oh, you love Decker, eh? He loves Decker. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure, right, that last night when Shuffling was on Paul Anning's, it was getting a bit serious, you know, and Shuff. He didn't say that he believed Paul, and he didn't say he didn't believe Paul, right? But it was awkward. You could see, I think for once, Shuffling wasn't saying what he was actually thinking. He was trying to be diplomatic, you know, trying to be diplomatic. But I don't think he believes Paul. Like, but he's already said, doesn't matter anyway. Shuffling, Anton, Julian, Celtic, they're all got his back. That's what they basically told him. That's what Shuff's told him. Did he? Well, you know what? That's the one thing, right? That you haven't really seen anything from Paul Annin other than what he's doing now, right? Nobody's like gone in, none of these clippers seem to have gone that far back with Paul. You know, usually with someone like him and they're looking into his YouTube stuff, you would have thought there'd be loads more out about him. That people changing names and that though, don't they? But I'll admit I'd never heard of him or his voice till the last few weeks. Oh, what about last night? What about last night on thingy? Turned into a right gossip here. Mermaid. Don't know, no one's mentioned that, like, but so Mermaid spilled the beans on Mr. Grumpy. If you've been seeing Mr. Grumpy for, well, he's definitely since October, I think. They've been like an item. It's mad that. But apparently he's turned into a knob. Turned out to be a bit of a knob. Did you see it, Chris? I'm pretty sure it'll be on YouTube Asylum because it was only last night. It was only it was on Jay's last night. Basically, that's Mermaid was on there, basically asking Grumpy to come up and explain himself why he's being an absolute knobhead. Well, I'm not gonna spill all the beans, but it wasn't good, like, and it sounds to me like Mermaid just wanted to get her side of the story out first. You know what I mean? But Grumpy flapped it on the panel last night. It wouldn't come on. But the twist of the plot is, obviously, Mermaid and Tunes, there's no love lost there, right? But the plot twist is that Mr. Grumpy is one of them super moddy things on Tunes' channel. Yeah, you couldn't write it. Jay's live last night. I think it's still there, like. I don't think anyone's cottoned onto it yet. On it. Well, I heard a few things. I wouldn't say one because Mermaid said this last night, and I do like Mermaid. Mermaid's like being, she was one of the first ones to come in my chat anyway. She'll say the same, so she won't mind me repeating this. But apparently, it got to the point he was that obsessed with YouTube. I don't think he'd moved in with her, but he must have been spending a lot of time like there, definitely staying over and whatever. But she said even in them early days, within the first few months, got the point where they were both in separate rooms on YouTube. She actually said that last night, man. Which, you know, everyone says you people watch too much YouTube. But when you're human into a relationship, it's not the behaviour, is it? And she was sitting there. He is obsessed with YouTube. Isn't it? So why, right? So why has Tunes give a reason why he's not interested in being monetized? Is it because of all the swearing that goes on his channel and that? But he's still never put a coffee link up or anything, has he? Which is a little bit weird. That it's a little bit weird because he'll say he's a man of morals and that, won't he? Then on the other hand, he isn't. But I'd like to ask him why he's never put a coffee link in that up, because he would get people buying him coffee, and he has got a lot of people who stick with him. You know what I mean? If are we on about Mermaid this that? Well, it wasn't. You know, it was the best kept secret on here, because Mermaid was telling Jay things last night, and he didn't even know. And if from an outsider looking in, right? All I knew was that they'd had a cup of coffee together, but they've been an items for like 4 or 5 months, and it's all gone peak tongue now. So let's face it, Mermaid and Grumps have been on YouTube loads, just about every day. Mermaid been in hospital and all that, so it's not like they haven't had the chance to let it slip. It's best kept secret for me on YouTube. There, sure done. Was there many there today? Is the park open properly now? Then it's getting that season, isn't it? You know, it's a good time of the year because you've got Cheltenham, yeah. So you know that the winter's like on its way out, type of thing. Then you've got the Masters. When you got the Masters golf, like from Augusta, pretty sure it's the end of March, start of April. That's when you know. That's when the new year starts. You know what I mean? Nah, don't think so. I don't. You know what? You know that photo that June's kindly shared of Mermaid. Like I even commented on that, said it out of order. There was only a few comments on it, but he basically just said this is what's good for the goose is good for the gander, and a picture of that he's took off somebody's channel of when Mermaid was on a panel 2 or 3 years ago. So full face picture of Mermaid. That's the first time I've ever seen. It's not really, doesn't really bother us what people look like, to be honest. You know, Tunes has got this weird fascination, and he fascinated with people turning the cameras on. Weird. Like, who was it? J Mac. We all know J Mac, yeah. But J Mac's like a bit of a boyo, you know what I mean? But he's on a panel with Tunes, and Tunes is asking him to turn his camera on and do 100 sit-ups. You know what I mean? Like if Tunes coming here now, I'd probably have to put a top on. So when I'm getting excited, you know what I mean? Don't be getting excited, Tunesy. 51-year-old. Oh, didn't he do it? He done it. Oh, he did a thingy, didn't he? He did a Sean Greggs type pose the other night, saying you couldn't do the same workout as me. And he was like that, didn't he? It was like that, right? So he must have had his phone on the timer or something. He must have set that shot up, you know, because he's like you can see both his hands like that. So he's actually gone out his way. But he's like got it balanced on the fireplace or something. Definitely, definitely a bit of purple going on there. Like, I think there'd be a queue for that. Like, definitely be a queue for that one. Like, let's face it, right? Let's face. Oh, it's a kick-off. 3 o'clock kick-off. We'll keep an eye on the scores. Yeah. Anyone who knows any scores, shot them in the chat because you know what my thing's like. My fire stick's about half an hour behind everyone else's. Didn't realise it was 3 o'clock there. Jim, just been slagging you off there, Jim. Who was it? Old D was slagging you off. Quaver. It was only me sticking up for you. Distat was calling you all sorts. Chris M. I thought he was your mate, Chris M. He's been calling you all sorts there. EFL matchday links. Stoke Borough. Sunshine there in Stoke. I would say, I wasn't sure if you had like forgiven us for that. Like, it was one of them. It always happens, Jimbo, mate. If you've seen any of the old quizzes, I used to get loads of grief, man. I used to, when I was doing the quizzes before, right, when Daryl Adams used to be on, Jimbo, literally after every few questions, I was getting like WhatsApp off Daryl, like while it was live, just saying, "What the fuck, lad?" How I got that? I was first, you know what I mean? Like by the end of the quiz, there's about 10 WhatsApps off Daryl. He's actually fallen out with us over them quizzes. What happened to the lad? What happened to it? Like, what did you do? What did you do? Like, he's going to start using that. He's going to start using the Chris the Brick excuses, isn't he, Jimbo? That he can't remember now. He'd be like, "Nah, I didn't do that." You can guarantee that Jim Smith definitely more than once has heard his phone ringing and picked up an empty bottle of Bacardi. Hello? Oh, fucking hell. I heard that, like, oh, we should have been 1-0 up. Good save from the Stoke keeper there, whoever it is. Should have been 1-0 up. Oh, he's definitely got a pair of Crocs. Like, I don't know. I don't think I've asked him straight out if he has got a pair of Crocs. Did you see them brown ones, sister? You know what the colour of them was? The official colour of them was Annan's bandage. Are you blocked, like? You blocked from Tunesy? As I don't think I've actually seen a tartan pair, like, but obviously, whenever I see a pair that needs exposing, I will put the community post up, and I suggest everyone does as well. You know, we need to out these people who are wearing Crocs. He was getting some stick last night, like, fucking hell. Might have been in that Jays. Everyone was calling him, like, just everyone was chipping in, you know what I mean? Chipping in with the disses and that. Aldi, I'm amazed that, like, you know, I've still let you be. And, like, this is why, this is why you haven't reached, and the only reason why you haven't reached the echelons of the hairy ass Gadgie. That is the one reason, mate, that you wear Crocs. That I can't have a hairy ass Gadgie wearing Crocs. You know what I mean? They're dead stretchy, these, you know, look. You can tell it's good quality by the, like, the spring back and the way, like, the neck. See how the neck, I was telling Quaver about this. I said, when you get a football top or any t-shirt, right, when you wear it the first time, it should always be, like, tight round your neck, shouldn't it, you know? Yeah, it's because Marvin and them chew them, don't they? Marvin's chewing Aldi's Crocs. Or through there, like. Yeah, you know these are real diamonds, man. 6, 20, 20 odd carat they are. Oh no, there's 8 of them. Posh. I only need a thingy. I need a thing of garlic, don't I? You know, like a garlic necklace. I know. It's fucking mad, isn't it? It's absolutely mad. And the fact that he can't understand. Jonesy can't understand. Like he's only just started saying this, right? That he's only just started using it as an excuse, saying that he actually can't remember what he said the night before. Now he never ever used to say that. He'd just own it. But now he started using the I can't remember saying that, or I never said that. I was drunk. You know, the same sort of Jim Smith tactics, did it? Yeah, the old garlic necklace. And that picture, you know that picture, Quaver, what you were, because you were in the live when Celtic Tunes brought Celtic on too quick, didn't he? And he was in there, he was laid in bed with no top on and like his Jay-Z headphones, wasn't it? What did he have round his neck? So can we confirm that? There was something going on round his neck, like it wasn't gold. I think it was brass. Looked like brass that needed a good clean. Do you remember when your nanny used to get the brass out? Celtic, come on about. Celtic, yeah, wrinkly neck, call him. You got the abominable snowman, the the Yeti, what do you call it? The Abominable Snowman, Paul Annan. You've got Gollum, Celtic. You've got Shrek, Tunes, and not enough in it really. Video of the week's got to be Tunes. Tunes' apology to Patrick Ward, like. You know what? I think I've missed quite a bit. I think I missed a bit last night. I've gone to sleep early and I've missed most of John Smith's. Can't remember any of John Smith's. So what's the you know, it's sort of threw a spanner in the works this week with Yeti, right? Yeti's threw a bit of a spanner in the works, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, how's he missed that? Stokes just missed an open goal. Open goal, mate, over the bar. Yeah, so where right? Where are we standing on the Yeti giving his dog away? You know, it was either because he ran with the 10 grand thing, didn't he, for quite a while, right? I was even starting to believe him, you know, because he was using that for a good week, Yeti, like, but he was coming on pounds. He was saying, I've sold the dog and I'm getting so much off the puppies. I didn't believe him. I'll be honest, I didn't believe him. But I knew the dog wasn't there. But I don't know, he should, I want to know why Yeti chose, like, to wait this long before he's told us about that it went for him or went for his dad. And then there was a little bit more last night, which he didn't say the other day yet. That he actually went to hospital. He got stitches in his finger. You have to shows them, yeah, man, because you took ages to let that one out. You know, if you were getting that much grief about giving your dog away, you know, like, obviously it was more. It's the moral thing, isn't it, with people in the chat where if you're making money out of that dog, that you sort of ripping staffies off, yeah, and then it said it wasn't a real staffy and whatever. Like all that doesn't matter, right? All that doesn't matter. It's the point I'm making is if it wasn't Yeti, if it was somebody else with a better Newcastle 1, Wolves 0. If it wasn't Yeti, it was somebody with a bit more, with a bit of a better reputation on YouTube, and they were in the same position, would we still be having a go at them? You know, because basically, if you have got kids and your dogs took a turn and went for you, you're well within your rights, aren't you? Really, you're well within your. Oh, we just hit the post. You're well within your rights to say that you can't keep that dog. I think it's the way he's handled it. Like, if he'd just been honest up front, like right from the start. But you know what? I don't even think it's that bothered anyway what people think. If you ask me to give you my honest opinion of what I think's gone on, I reckon that, yeah, I reckon the dog might have had a little turn, or it's become too much hard work. I know what they're like. I know what them dogs are like. They're not easy, and they are going to react to what's going on around you, obviously. I think that the dog has just got just a little bit too much for Yeti, I reckon, and he's probably sold it to his cousin. That's all I think. That's my take on it. He's probably sold it for a few £100 or something, £500. Since I have seen that dog, I have seen Yeti's dog. I know in his garden he's got one of them things. You know what where the dog in the all the nasty dog bulldog videos where they're training it on a treadmill, and then we've got one of them things in the garden like a tarzy where the dog's got hold of it and it's just swinging around like with suspended. I'm sure I have seen Yeti's dog doing that. No, we had a bully. We've got a bully, and we haven't. Our dogs, I wouldn't have it doing that, because that's the type of thing. That's the trophy dog, isn't it? It's the classic. It's the classic pose in it, showing all its like muscles off. So I'm sure that's the type of dog. We also know he likes messing about with bikes and that in his house, and I know for a fact if that dog isn't in a cage, that dog's not going to be one to just go and curl up in a ball on the settee. They want to be out and they want to be in your face. They're in your face and that, and you won't be fixing no bikes if that dog's mooching about around the house. So yeah, I think it's turned out a little bit too much hard work for him, and his cousin has said, "I'll give you a few £100, I reckon." But he should have just said that. The only thing I'd say about it is that Yeti's character on here, he won't be bothered. Won't bother. But it was definitely a good move, though. A good move tactically for Yeti to bring that one in there. It gone for his dad or whatever, or his finger. I mean, if Yeti'd had stitches in his finger, he wouldn't be able to do them 30 skinners, would he? I've never seen no bandages on out. Yeah, yeah. It's like it is a big thing, a dog is like a massive thing, man. Especially these days. I think more so these days, because they used to give dogs away like in the paper when I was like a kid. If you got the Gazette, there was always like in the classified, there was always at least half a page of dogs free to good homes. But having a dog back in them days, like, where was that? Yeah, dogs. Mate, you don't get a dog lightly. Basically, if it has a healthy life, you've got another member of the family like for 10 years, haven't you? And they're just like kids. It's like kids, man, when the puppies and that. Me personally, right? Me personally, I think the ideal dog to get is one that's about 1 year old, you know, and you get it given off somebody who you know, because you'll know its temperament and you'll know if it's going to suit your lifestyle, you know what I mean? If you get a puppy, it's just what it gets used to, isn't it? What you show it. And but if you get one that's 1 year old, it's already house trained and everything, and especially if you've seen it, like if it's to friends and you've seen the way the way it is around the house. Because let's face it, man, dogs can wreck your house, can't they? I know, and that's cheap, isn't it? 600 quid's cheap, man. I know Tobbs's Tobbs's dog's having a litter. The first lot. So we'll get all the Belgian, whatever they're called, Belgian Mallies, which I haven't seen any of them pups. So how's our bets doing here? But we don't need Walsall or Fulham to score any more goals. So how much do you reckon that you have to say you do everything right? You're having your first litter. You're having your first litter, yeah, and it has, let's just say, 5 puppies, yeah, 5 healthy puppies. Now everything you have to do from when they're born, including getting up in the middle of the night, cleaning shit up, right? Just the basic of them 6 weeks, yeah. Bit of an upheaval in your house, you know. It's like having 5 babies. So you've got all that. They're looking after them there. Then you've got the vet stuff where they have to have injections and whatever. Then you've got the food. How much? How much do you expect? What's a fair price for all the work that you've put into them first 8 weeks or whatever, as you got them with for a puppy, and you've prepared them as best you can for them to go to a new home? What's a fair price for the 8 weeks? You know, just, you know what I mean? That's what I think's fair. The price. That's how you should work it out. Not like, oh, this is a sausage dog. It's 5 grand for a sausage dog. I don't know where they come up with the prices. I mean, who was the first one? Who was the first one to think, oh, I'm going to have a litter and charge 5 grand for this dog? Surely they're going to be laughed at, aren't they? You know. But these days, it's like it's just like it's not out of nobody bats an eyelid when you say the Pomeranian is 5 grand, a little ball of fluff. Yeah, it's 5 grand. That. Oh, seems fair. Seems fair for a ball of fluff. But say you're putting the effort in for 8 weeks. You know, you might have to get up the odd night if there's 2 years. You know, you're taking turns. So your life's got a little bit harder for 8 weeks. You've had to go and yes, Monk. Sorry, mate, I didn't see you there. 1,500 quid. 1,500 quid. So for 8 weeks work, that's per dog. Per dog. So the breeders, none of them should have to work. You know, John Smith, how many dogs have you got, mate, in that house now? Surely you can stop doing overtime at work, mate. I've seen them puppies, man. They're like, everyone loves them puppies. They're gonna make you stop doing overtime at work, mate. Surely. I know, yeah. So they have been charging. They have been charging like for quite a while now, haven't they? Like paying for a dog and that, paying good money for a dog. It's back in the day, a dog breeding dogs, unless you were a specialist, wasn't really for the normal man, was it? I don't know. Back in the day, no one used to just let your dog out there, go messing about all day. Imagine if it's been out impregnating, there'll be puppies all over the shop, wouldn't there? Are you blocked there? No, Tom said he's blocked out of this chat. He said he's blocked out of this chat, Tobbs, like, last night. He was trying to go in the chat. I don't know what's going on there because I haven't done it. Do you know what I mean, though, this, that? Like, I'm just using John as an example because I know John works 50-hour weeks, yeah? And I know 50-hour weeks, I don't know what John does, but 50-hour weeks, like night shift and 12-hour shifts, is not good for anyone, you know what I mean? He's 10 years younger than me, I think, John. But just look at us both, you know what I mean? I know he's had a bit of a paper around that. But another 10 years of them shifts, John, mate, don't want to be doing that. And if them dogs are worth what people are saying, mate, knock one shift on the head or something, you know what I mean? It's got to be good money in them dogs, mate. It's got to be 25 grand. Can anyone shed a bit of light on this? Because nobody's mentioned this either. I think it was on John Smith's last week, where everyone was flashing loads of cash. Was that John Smith? Was that John Smith's where I think there was 3 or 4 of them with loads of stacks of cash, like wads like this. John had a wad. I think it was Daryl McNair had a wad. And anyone else remember who was flashing the wads? You know what else is? You know what, right? Here, go down Middlesbrough, right? So before you get into the town, there's a road, Lidthorpe Road. Yeah, it's about a mile long. Shops either side of it, and the further you go up Lidthorpe Road, the closer you get to Middlesbrough town centre. Yeah, so you can see the end of Lidthorpe Road a mile. Over the years, the first quarter of a mile of that has turned into like all these halal shops, pizza shops. It's all you'll see down there is like Asians, you know. For the whole first quarter of a mile Lidthorpe Road, it's all Asians. And you've never seen so many mobile phone shops in your life, right? You know, these mobile phone repairers, unlockers, there must be 10 of them in like a quarter of a mile stretch. Now, there's one opened up on a parade of shops not far from me now, right? The shop is on a parade that's really popular, and it's very rare shop comes up for rental on there anyway. But this one has. And the one thing you wouldn't have put there, right, is a mobile phone repair shop, right? But not just any mobile phone repair shop. This bloke, right, he's done the whole shop out immaculate. He's got all big neon signs, dead smart, brand new big neon signs outside. All millions of phones in the window, all brand new PlayStation 5s. Been open for about 3 months. I've never seen anyone in the shop. Never seen anyone go in and like, apart from the bloke who's just sat there behind the counter. So if they're not, Fulham have just got 2-0. That needed to be 1-1. Yeah, how is he paying the rent for that, you know? And how's he got all that stock, all them phones in there, right? I've never seen anyone go in there. Never seen anyone go in. It's got to be, hasn't it? Got to be. It's like them nail bars. Them people who own them nail bars, man. Seen how much they are? 50 quid a pop. 45, 50 quid a pop. And they're queuing up before it opens on a morning. They're queuing up to get in there. And there's about 10 of them working there, 10 little nips. Sorry, not nips, 10 little like Chinese. But Newcastle 2, Wolves 0. We need Brighton to come back. Legit, yeah, they're making some big money. Yeah, the car washers is the other one, isn't it? Them car washers, mate, they just pop up all overnight, them. See how much it is now? It's like, what is it? I think the cheapest car wash you can get now, where you can just the basic wash, if it's a hand wash, is about 7 quid. You're not getting your car hand washed for less than 7 quid, right? But if you're too tight for that, then you go to the jet wash, don't you? And they're all a little bit different. Yeah, that's another one, mate. They're all a little bit different. Some of them, a pound will get you 3 minutes of any of the options, yeah. But they'll always get you where you need to put that extra pound in, right? Or you're not gonna, or you have to rush, like, you know. There's no worse when you've got the jet wash and you're like looking at the clock, is there? You know, and you're trying, and you end up being knackered. You know, trying to save a quid. 15 notes. It's heavy, that. I think there is one, right? I go past 2 on the way to work regular, and they're right opposite each other, exactly the same sort of setup. Just a big carport, loads of big hoovers and loads of, no flash. But I'm pretty sure that they do a full valet and car and polish for 50, 55 quid. I mean, 55 quid's not to be sniffed at, is it? If you've got 2 people, 2 young lads who are working, you know, they're hard workers. It's good to take them, what, half an hour? 45 minutes for 55 quid. That's roughly £100 an hour. Not bad, is it? £100 an hour. It's bad though, isn't it? Because you'll sort of pay it, won't you, every now and again. You'll treat your car to, like, you might treat it to like a full valet and wax and all that, you know. At 50 quid, yeah. That's something like I could do, to be honest. I've always looked after cars that I've had. I've always like cleaned them, enjoyed cleaning them and that, but this last one, I think I've only cleaned it about 3 or 4 times in like 2 years. 12 quid, Eddie. That sounds more like it, kid. Is that you? Is that you personally doing it, like, or is that what you charge, Eddie? Eddie, you'd have to get some step ladders though, wouldn't you, to do the roof? Can't believe I haven't even got a fucking. I haven't even got a drink. Got no alcoholic drink at all. It's good stuff, that. But that tea cut, you're not supposed to do your whole car with it, though, isn't it? For like just like getting scratches out. Just for getting, like, for doing like little bits in it. But then if you just do that little bit or one panel, it's good. And if it's as good as you say, then it's going to show the rest of the car up in it. So you should be able to. I think they do a proper turtle. What a turtle? What do you call it? Tea cuts are not the same thing as turtle wax, is it? It's not the same company. But the best ones are the turtle wax, the spray on, spray off polish. I'll tell a little story, right? So I know somebody who works for a car company, right? Now, when you buy a car, they try and sell you this as an add-on. The salesman will try and sell you, he'll say, do you want, even though it's a brand new car or whatever, would you like it, would you like your car to call Diamond Bright, I think it's called. Would you like your car diamond brighted? And then they'll bull it all up. They'll say, the customer might say, well, what's that? And they'll say, oh, well, it's this really good polish, and it lasts for about a year. Whenever your car gets dirty, it goes through the car wash, it'll come out like brand new again with this diamond bright treatment. Now, the treatment itself, right? The treatment itself comprises of 2 liquid bottles, Diamond Bright 1, stage 1, Diamond Bright stage 2, little bottles like this of, like, you know, like liquids, and what you call it? One of them cloths, you know, one of them anti-static cloths, what everyone uses, and one of them cloths. So that's it. That's it, right? Now, it was up to the salesman. It was up to the salesman to decide how much they were going to charge for this diamond bright. And I know that they had a little competition, and I think the record was £1,000. They got a salesman got a customer to part with an extra £1,000 for a diamond bright. Oh, Borough getting beat. A diamond bright, £1,000 for an hour's work, and the treatment itself you can buy offline for about a tenner. But they were regularly charging people hundreds of pounds for this diamond bright treatment, and it's basically just a polish. Ridiculous, man. I know, and the howler. That's all right, because we only need to score one more. I should have saved it, like the keeper, really. Yeah, it sort of strips it, doesn't it? It is good stuff. I've done it. I've done it on most of the cars. Most of the cars I've had have had a few diamond brights, and if you do it properly, you do need a bit of elbow grease. You've got to put it to get it shiny. Like the last bit, it goes all dull, you know, like a proper polish does, where you wait till it dries and then you rub it off. It's like that, but you have to put a bit of elbow grease in. This is about where I usually turn the match off now when we're getting beat. Borough season's over anyway, like absolutely over. Up the Borough, that's bad timing, lad. So, Nutter, how did your few days in London go, mate? Huh? From what footage I've seen, uh, it it looked like you were in the the Bronx that morning. The first morning that you'd got up and you'd had some breakfast and it was minging and that. And Tobbs was going back to chill out back of the room or something, and you went out. You went out on the mooch. Mate, it looked like you were under some underground. Looks like you were in some like underground in Gaza or something. You know, all graffiti all over the walls and that, and like tunnels and everywhere you looked. It was like something out of Death Wish. You know the film Death Wish. You wouldn't have had me walking down there. And it was Ealing. From the spelling, like people were asking you whereabouts in London you were. No, I was like, oh, I don't know. I've got it wrote down in my pocket on a bit of cardboard. Eali and healing. We're in healing, and everyone in the chat was like, "It's Ealing," and he was like, "Yeah, we're in healing." I don't know where it is, but I can see Wembley. You could see Wembley, couldn't you, from your well, Nutter can barely see over the road signs, so he would have had to been up a height. You know what I mean? He must have been on the top floor. Must have been in the penthouse. Last time I was in London, I took my son, and I proper planned the whole trip. Yeah, so I think he was 8 or 9 at the time. I had 4 days off, and I'd spent a couple of weeks planning these 4 days. Right, I was driving. We set off on the first morning, drove to London, and I remember my 8-year-old son. Right, he still laughs about it now. Every time we were on the way there, he'd never been to London before. We're on the way there, and we'd only been going 10 minutes, and every time he'd seen a big building, he was like, "Is that Big Ben?" I was like, no, not yet. Must have said it about 20 times. Is that Big Ben? It's like, no, no. But honestly, right, we stayed in right next to Legoland, which used to be Windsor Safari Park. Legoland is built on Windsor Safari Park, and we stayed in a hotel that I just booked myself like couple of weeks before, looking on Trivago. It only had the swimming pool in and all that. Like, so we got there, got our room, went for a swim and all that. Like, already then we went to Legoland. It was the hottest day of the year, right? Legoland. It's just like it is nice, but the wasps and bees and just you're doing this all day long, right? But it was red hot. Anyway, we had a good day there, Legoland. And I'd saved all the tokens up, for free tickets. So I hadn't paid hardly anything to go to Legoland, right? So I was doing really well, you know what I mean? He had a great day. The next day we got up, went to our next hotel, which was back up on the way home at Alton Towers. Another dead smart hotel, right? Got ready and all that on the morning, went to Alton Towers. It was still red hot because it was in July, I think. Had a great day at Alton Towers and went straight home after that. But London, we stayed for 2 days. Can't remember where it was now. Either Docklands or somewhere. But all you've got to do if you go to London, if you're going into central London, is just get one of them bus tickets. Get them online, for the red open top buses. You just jump on them and they just take it wherever you want to go. It's going constantly all day around all the landmarks. And they've got them people doing the talking over, telling you what it is and that. Like, this is where the Great Fire of London was, which was started by a bloke called PP. He did start the Great Fire of London. I think Garth was helping put it out as well. Oh, have they? If you miss a penalty, right? If you miss a penalty as a professional footballer, you should be flogged on the pitch. You should be like made to bend over and just be all your team gets to like kick you and up the arse in front of the whole crowd. They wouldn't be so keen to be doing these fancy penalties then, would they? Oh, the tube's something else, isn't it, mate? Scary, isn't it? You just feel like, I tell you what, people get on the tube every day, right, without even thinking what they're doing, right? So for a start, you're underground, aren't you? You're underground, right? You wouldn't believe what's going on above you in London, right, when you're on the tube. But when you're like this, or you're like this, right, for half an hour, where you literally can't breathe without somebody breathing on you and that, and you're going through a dark tunnel under the middle of London. I mean, if that breaks down, right, you're just going into a panic, aren't you? Straight away. It's hell, absolute hell on earth, man. Hell on earth. But people do it every day. It's how people get about. The London would not work without the tube. It just couldn't survive. That's why it's that busy. It's the easiest way to get around. However, you know, that's why the geniuses of today are nothing on the geniuses who invented, like, who thought that it'd be an idea to build a tube underneath London. They're the people, they're the real, like, geniuses, aren't they? It's like the sewerage system and that, when London was getting built, or they had the sense to make realise to make the sewage system bigger, a lot bigger than probably what they needed at the time. But they were just looking ahead, and they still use a lot of it now, don't they? The sewage works and that's still hundreds of years old. Now you can't even build it. They can't. The houses that they build now will come down like in a strong wind. You know what I mean? Walls are hollow, and you know, when there's a new build, like they're building a new estate, or you know, there's bulldozers and all that, the brickies and everything. They're all under a time, aren't they? Oh, yeah, we have to lay so many bricks today, and the houses are just shot up. And you get out of bother when people, I've heard stories of people moving in and just jobs are being half done and that. Yeah, I always go for medium. All my t-shirts are just medium. Because when I was a teenager, mate, all you would see me in, right, is black, baggy, dark clothes, baggy. You know, like where you'd lift the top up and the t-shirt, your arms would be down here on your t-shirt. You know, like, but then you just, it doesn't it's not stylish, is it really? Always go for one size under Big G, so stop trying to fit in them 38 jeans and just get the 40s where you can breathe properly in them. Every belt that Big G's ever bought, he's had to like put extra holes in it. First thing he does when he buys a new belt, goes home and like puts the old screwdriver through it. Yeah, medium's the way forward, man. Peggy, how are you doing, Peggy? Peggy's brutal, you know. I was laughing, I chuckled at myself because I was thinking, no, Peggy always comes in with chats, right? I've known Peggy like since I started coming on YouTube, and she's always like, we've always got on, you know what I mean? And but you never really get the chance to talk with. She doesn't go on panels much, and you know. And I thought next time I see Peggy in the chat, I'm gonna have a bit of crack. I think it was the other day. What was it? Well, it might have been yesterday. Oh yeah, she's got a like a vendetta and tunes you don't get under there. Um, just some brutal comments from Peggy. Like this is like because Peggy, right, was well established a few years ago when I come on YouTube. Peggy was the super mod. You know, there was, if you were talking mods, Peggy was your mod. You know, because she would always be there. She'd always be in your chat, it didn't matter what time it was, right? She'd always be sharing links. She'd always be like inviting, you know what I mean? And she knew all the dodgy ones, so she was perfect. And then we all know, like, for me with Peggy, um, it all changed sort of overnight, didn't it, Peggy? If I'm not right, if I'm wrong, but I think it all changed when it was on Jockneys, wasn't it? With there was a part in one, there was a disagreement on there, and sort of you either chose Peggy or you chose this other person. And but I don't know, Peggy. I think Peggy went off for a little bit, didn't you? Nah. And then you sort of just took a back seat, but always been around. You know what I mean? See, Peggy would find that funny. You know what I mean? She is like the sense of humor is a bit mad. You know what I mean? But you can have a laugh though. Honestly, just watch Peggy's. You know what? Just watch. All you have to do is watch somebody in a chat, right, for half an hour, and you'll be able to pick up. You'll be able to pick up like what they're like. You know, it's like you get a lot. You can learn a lot about people and by what they write in the chat, and especially that helps. You know, for when a new account comes up and you think, that sounds like some Big G would write that, you know, but it's not Big G. But you think you haven't seen Big G for a while. You can just tell by the way people write, you know, the slip up, don't they? You know, on the old troll accounts. Yeah, I see that. I see that. That was hilarious. And Sean was like, Sean was, because Sean won't have anyone telling him that he's not a good mod. You know what I mean? Even on Jay's channel, yeah, it was Jay's channel. So Sean was like, Jones, are you blind? You can clearly see that I've been timing out to my best abilities. And then he got his own community post telling him how crap he is off Tunes. That he's a crap mod. Funny Sean. I only seen you time one person out though, Sean. I only seen you where there was a load of stuff going in like on Tunes last night. That was it. It was on Jay's channel. He was getting it. He was getting both barrels off everyone. Like, I was surprised that he didn't. He didn't do a live last night. Then did he? Well, did he? How's our bets looking anyway? Well, you know what? There's only one game that can end up 1-1, and then that could still be a draw. The other three games, I think you got to go by where it's offering you, and you'll cash out in it. Wherever they're offering you in the cash out. Which at the minute, I'm being offered. Only offering me £5.27, but the other two games, Stoke Borough, that could still be 1-1. No worries. Lincoln are drawing 0-0, so that's got a chance. And Walsall Doncaster 1-0. That's got every chance. So I'd say that, well, they're offering me a third of my stake back. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Like, it would be, tell you what, if Fulham were only winning 1-0, I'd be a bit more excited. Like, no, proper chimpy in there, chimpy styly. You know what? When I was on the steroids, yeah, when I had about a year on the steroids, right, when I was about 30, a little bit older, right. I'm not gonna lie, I did shave my arms once. I did shave my arms. That's how bad it was. When you shave your arms, yeah, then you got a problem, haven't you? Like, it's weird. But I did do it once. It just looked weird. Yeah, Jimbo, I was watching your comments last night. They were going in hard on Tuesday, like. Then Peggy doesn't need any encouragement where Tunes comes into it. Even Dave was chipping in. I noticed. He waited till he thought the moment was right, Dave, and then just bounces in a chat just to slag Tunes off. Called him a whip. Oh, cry me a river and all that. Oh, Rangers are getting beat, Quaver. Rangers are getting beat at home to Motherwell. It's naughty, that, isn't it? It's naughty, that. By the way, Eddie's favourite rapper of all time is Spexy. If you haven't seen him, go and check Spexy out. The greatest rapper ever to come from north of the border, Spexy. Oh, oh, forgot to tell you, right? So I flicked over onto Ship It Steve's live, right? You know, Ship It Steve, man, the mountain man, Steve Farthing, whatever you want to call him there. I put his channel on, there was 5 people on, right? This is last night. It's only Bidsy. Only Bidsy was on Steve Farthing's. Mate, it was like the Bidsy. It was like the Bidsy that was used to go fighting trolls, not the one that came back on Flavours and got run off, right? He's got his total fringe back, and he's bouncing about in his front room and that. Mate, he was on Steve Farthing's for like about 4 hours. Watched for a little bit, and he was like, I think even Steve was getting fed up, was getting sick of him, like. But go and check Steve Farthing's live out from yesterday, Bidsy. Bidsy. So he's definitely watching stuff, you know what I mean? Oh, Den, where the hell is Den, right? Den, what's going on, mate? I thought you were back, man. I haven't seen you since that day. Apart from I seen you asking for the link in John Smith. Yeah, was it John Smith's? I couldn't comment because I think I was at work, but I was like, there he is, the bastard. Yeah, he's got a new number 2 now, Bidsy. Bidsy's rimming Steve Farthing. I just put it out there. Like that. I reckon we could still get 4 draws up here. With 3 of them, a very good chance that there'll be 1 all. Do we? Oh, I've heard that woman. Is she called Peggy as well? She's off her head, her, like. Proper potty mouth on her. She argues with anyone, like. I've heard her on. Or are you on about another? Am I thinking of someone else, Peggy? Or she could be called Peggy, I don't know. There's a lot of games postponed, like in the. Is that Waterlog Pitches? League 2. So that's a bit bad, right? So all the league, there's about 6 or 7 League 2 fixtures, right, abandoned due to waterlogged pitch, right? So if the League Division 2 games are all getting postponed for waterlogged pitch, you would think that the Northern League, the league below that, you'd think their grounds would all be waterlogged, but there isn't 1 game off in the Northern League. Not 1 game called off. How was that? You explain that one night, Dave? Since you're the expert on the waterlogged pitch. Eddie, let me ask you a question, Eddie. You might be able to clear some up. Do you know Randy? Do you know Randy? If I said Randy here, top shagger, you'd know what I mean, wouldn't you? Oh, nice of you to drop in, mate. Yeah, nice. I haven't seen you for ages, but thought, aye. Since you've been putting them pictures up of the moon, hasn't he? I have to change my name because he keeps saying she's looking great tonight. And he always put, oh, cheers, King. Cheers, mate. It's been like pouring down like everywhere. King, I was watching one of your thingies. Who we going in on? Who's number one? Who we going in on this week? Like, who have your last few videos been about? I think Danny G was one of them. He's been at it again this morning, like King Danny G. His first video of the day was entitled Golf or Boxing. Have you watched it? Yeah. So he was just reiterating to his followers on a morning video that golf is his passion. Yeah, he was born to play golf, and boxing is just not going to happen unless somebody wants to pay him 50 grand. He said he'll get in the boxing ring for 50 grand, right? But his priority is getting to pro level at golf, which he's given himself like a year, you know. So golf wins, you know. It's like he's out for 4 weeks. Yeah, he's now say it was 3 or 4 months a few weeks ago. To recover his hands well enough to play golf. Now it's down to 4 weeks. He said this morning, yeah, I should be playing in like 4 weeks. Last week, right, he was that excited about how well he was playing golf that he said he's going to come out and play one-handed. He's just going to come out and play one-handed because he loves the game that much. He's going to play one-handed. But his priority is getting down to 0. He says, I play off 8 now. I thought, you don't, man. You don't play off 8, mate. I've never seen you play off 8. I want to pull him up because I like his golf videos, right? But I want to pull him up, and I'm seeing what I can get away with in the chat now, right? Because he's got a few. There's one bloke, right? There's one bloke who's got a spanner, right? In his when he does his golf lives, he's called Pack a Punch Man, right? And he is Danny G's #1. Like, he rules that chat when the golf videos. So if you try to take the mick, like, I've been going in for weeks, and I've only got to the point now with that Packer Mac where I can sort of take the piss a little bit, but I still have to be careful. Pandeco, I shared a golf live of Danny G's, right, half an hour before he was due, and I put, this is a must watch, right? And I know for a fact people come in that chat because I shared it, right? Because I've seen Slim Reaper in there, Pandeco, and every time we've had a good laugh, you know, taking the mick. But this Packer Punch just timed Pandeco out first comment. It wasn't even bad. And I put in the chat there, come on, man, Packer Punch. You know, we're having a bit of a laugh, and he put something really sad, right? Like sad, like what a mod would write, you know, proper sad. And mate, I watched for 2 hours, right? Nobody commented. There was 20 people in, nobody commented. A Pack a Punch just ruined the chat. Like, and I was just going to put in the chat, but I didn't. I was just going to put in the chat, Danny, I shared this video, but your mod Pack a Punch has basically ruined your chat. The funny as though, we had a few beauties like the week before, me and Pandeco, we were in this chat for ages, just ripping him. but that pack of punch didn't have a spanner, and it was proper funny chat. And so I thought we'll have a bit more of that the other day when I shared it, and it was perfect for it. And he just ruined it, man, and not one person commented. Just ruined the chat, man. See, as a mod, Peggy, you know what can go, what can't go, don't you? That's what it's all about. Like, you've got to use your common sense, haven't you? When you're modding, like the worst job in the world has got to be being one of Tunesy's mods. That is no safe spanner, is it? The Tunesy spanner, it's like the poison chalice, isn't it? Because as soon as you get that spanner, you know that your friendship with Tunesy is going to last about a week, innit? It's about a week, I think. But there's a lot of truth in what they say. I think Ice Queen, she's trying her best, right? But she just can't help herself. Like, she can't help herself. She's watching she was super modding in 3 channels the other night, all at the same time. She was commenting in both the ones that I was watching. Ice Queen was commenting in both of them simultaneously. 20 minutes. Tell you what, I could safely say I don't think I will ever have a spanner in Tunesy's, but that's because I haven't tried. I don't know. I reckon I could wangle the spanner out of Tunesy after a couple of goals. If I went on his panel, I reckon I could get a spanner off him. Like, oh, Tunesy would love it if I popped up in his back chat. Can you imagine? Imagine he's got 100 people in there, and he's giving it one of the well, if no one wants to come on, I'll just fuck off and listen to my music. There's 100 people in here, but I'm getting a bit bored. And then he goes, oh, I've got someone in the back. Fly me to the moon. He wouldn't even check my camera, right? He would bring me straight on, right? Because I'd have perked him up a little bit, you know. He's been niggling away at me, right? So we'll have him here. Suddenly he's awake and he's cracking another can open. Don't know if it would happen though. It would be quite funny though. I'd have to be in the right mood. But one of my highlights of the week, one of the highlights of the week was when Monk kicked asked Shuffling if he could kindly leave the panel. That's fucking beauty. That was absolute beauty. That. Tell you what, there's a load of draws flying about today. You know, just looking there, West Ham drawn with Everton. I was looking at that one. Need Brighton to get 2 late goals here. Yeah, man, you just got to use your common sense, haven't you? Tottenham Palace 0-0 as well. I've got a little soft spot for Crystal Palace. They're not exactly the glamour team, are they? Even though they're a London team, they're not very glamorous, are they? They've got to be along with Fulham. I believe isn't Fulham's ground in like quite a posh area of London, isn't it? Near Knightsbridge and west of the West End. Has everyone fell asleep in the chat? Like, says there's 22 people here, but there's nobody commenting. You're all just being lazy, or you're watching something else, aren't you? What do you think about PB winning that quiz? Oh shit. Is Eddie still here? Peggy, if I said Randy to you, what would that mean to you? Randy. The you know, the channel, somebody in the chat called Randy. What would you think of? Think we're Fulham, you know. Can you imagine that ground, Craven Cottage? It's like, must be on prime land, mustn't it? Must be on prime land. The housing must want to get their hands on it, you know what I mean? In the West End of London, imagine how many houses you could get on that ground if it was flattened. It's just, it's an eyesore, Fulham's ground. Like, been there, like going back in time. Yeah, because this Randy, he just he's been coming in the last couple of weeks, but I hadn't seen him for ages. And it turns out that he's only a bloody. Turns out he's only a quiz master, and he like the brains of Britain. He's got everyone shook. Barry's I've been having sleepless nights. Yeah, I definitely think Baz is going to have to watch a few reruns of The Chase or something like that, mate. QPR, yeah, that is that in the. There's quite a few London clubs, isn't there? Really, that's before you go down into the lower leagues. I mean, if you fly over London, you must just see football grounds everywhere. You know what else I want to? What I like? Drones. There's hardly anyone doing any drone stuff, is there, on here? Have you seen some of the pictures you can get from them drones, man? Looking amazing. Like the views and that. I mean, it totally changes everything when looking from a bird's eye view. And, I can remember it must be let us think, because it's quite important to get the year right. So we are now, I'd say probably 2016, right? So 8 years ago, I was walking my dog right over this park, not far from where I lived in Middlesbrough. And there was these two geezers in the field, right? And there was a couple of people around them, like with dogs. I thought, oh, we'll have a look. And as I got closer, right, they had these drones, right? Now, this is back in the day when the drone, you didn't really see them, you know. And it was massive. It was like the size of like a 4x4 tire. And then the arms opened up, it was even bigger. I remember like they were messing about with these remotes and that, and they were both on the ground. And they were like, bzzz. It was just like amazing just to watch, right? So we're all stood there and asking him how much they were and that. I think he said 2.5 grand each. There was two of them. And then as we were talking, he flew one. Just absolutely, like, everyone was just like amazed at this thing just floating in the air going up. And then he just showed us what it could do, man. He was flying around and all. And I remember coming home and ringing my dad and saying, "Oh, you won't believe this." I think I actually got a video of it. What did I say about QBR early on? 6-1. Beating Leicester 2-1. 6-1 there were. But anyway, that was back in the day, right? 8 years ago now. You can go and buy a drone, can't you? That's got an app on it with a camera for 100 quid or something. But there's hardly anyone on here doing it, is there? Crystal Palace are beating Tottenham as well. Yeah, Leicester, every time I've seen them, man, they're no flash. Exactly, something like that. It's a perfectly good idea, right? There's nobody in this side, there's nobody in our community who's doing it. You know what, Jimbo? Oh, yes, Doncaster have just scored 1-1. There's one. There's one of them up, like, at the minute. Tell you what, if Brighton score a goal in the next 5 or 10 minutes, it's going to get very interesting, like. The cash out's just got up by £3 to £8. I don't know where Nostog is, like. Nostog must be out shopping, and he'll be out with his lads doing the shopping and that. It'll be like that with his phone money there. That'll be like, what chips do you want? Premiership's just about all draws, man. And Liverpool 0-0 with Forest. Saying that, I know just this week I've had 2 late goals. 2 late goals in the FA Cup the other night. Like that was the bet of the week. That 2 away wins, a home win, and a draw in the FA Cup. A tenner on, and they got £180 back. That was the 2 late goals by Chelsea and 2 90-minute goals, Chelsea and Liverpool. So it can happen. So at the minute, yeah. So it's offering me £8, £8.20. Yeah, we'll check that again and check that out again in 10 minutes. West Ham 1, Everton 1. There's another draw. Ones each. That was one of my bank draws as well, that one. (3-2) to Southampton at Birmingham. Decent game, that night. There'll be all that weather, man. You know what bad is? My signal. I think you know, Jimbo, the carrier he had over Christmas with a fire stick, and the StreamYard going off all the time. So it's like a black spot. It's a black spot for the Wi-Fi signal. So I got one of these 30. I paid £30 for a booster, right? But my son was telling me yesterday, right? He said them boosters, they don't do anything. That they don't boost the signal in that room. How do you explain it? All it is like another something else for the signal in the house to bounce off. So that's how it's supposed to help. But I'll be honest, my StreamYard hasn't gone off yet. Like at Christmas, if I'd have had this door closed where I am now, the StreamYard was going off. It was just cutting me off, and it hasn't yet. So that's all I wanted. I don't need 125 download speed, right? But my son, in his house, right, he's a gamer, yeah? He's a gamer, so every millisecond counts, right? I'm sure he said that their download speed in the house is 800. 800. And now, before Christmas, I was getting like 17 in this room. 17. And he was getting 800. He must be right next door to Virgin, like with a server or something. Oh, Walsall have just scored. Look at that. Walsall 2-1. That's messed that right up. That was a bad move, that, like, Walsall scoring was a killer. Absolute killer, that. That's it. See, I'm going back to when the internet first come out, right? I remember it well. When the internet first come out, you know, dial-up. So we all had the dial-up, didn't we? The free, where you get a free disc through the door to get you on the internet. You'd be like, oh, yeah. Takes you like about 3 hours. Takes you like 3 hours. And then you've got the dial-up and you're on the internet and you think it's great, right? But at this time, round where I live in the northeast, there was a company called Comcast, it was called, or NTL. And everywhere you looked was these NTL vans, right? Comcast vans. A load of my mates all got jobs with them, right? And what they were doing, they were laying the fibre, they were laying the new fibre cables, you know what I mean? You'd see them on a different road every day doing exactly the same thing, digging all the pavement up, laying all these things, right? And then what happened is, when they'd done that for a few months, they covered a load of the northeast, right? Like, so all this fibre optic cables all being laid and everything's back to normal, the pavements and everything, right? So then, as they promoted it, how it worked, if you want, say you were at number 8 Davis Street, right? So the cable's running right up Davis Street, right up the pavement, right outside everyone's house. So number 8 says, oh yeah, I want fibre optic broadband. A group of 3 people would turn up on your door about 8 o'clock in the morning, right, in a Comcast van. Drill a hole right from the pavement, right up to right under your garden, right up to the door or wherever they needed to be. Oh, Borough getting beat 2-0. It's down. Right up to your door, there'd be somebody in the house doing the bits in the house with a little box and the wires and a drill. And mate, they'd be in and out of your house like you hadn't even been there in like 2 hours. You wouldn't even know that they'd been. They put everything back out, and all they're doing is linking you up, linking each individual house up to the cable. And that's what that is. Virgin now, because they got that big NTL and Comcast. They were only charging £5 a month. They were charging £5 a month for fibre optic broadband. They were way ahead of the game. And like, that's where BT fucked up. BT just sat back and like let all the other companies who were thinking ahead. And I remember, as fast as all them vans came, them NTL and Comcast vans, just as fast they went, they just disappeared because not sure they either went bankrupt or they got bought. I think eventually Virgin bought them out. Virgin they have one of their main offices. It is a couple of miles away from where I am now, in a place called Stockton. Virgin, like one of the hubs, you know. But yeah, who needs 800? It's like, all I want is that it just doesn't. I'm not bothered if it takes 5 seconds to load something in, right? But I just, as long as it doesn't buffer or just lose a signal. Oh yeah, they were on big money. Well, my mates, a couple of my mates were like, they hadn't even worked before. They were that dumb, you know what I mean? Even they got a job for NDL and Comcast, because basically their job might basically just be using a pneumatic drill, and that's all you were doing, going around every houses every day, like. But I do remember there being a story, and I think it's pretty true, because it sort of makes sense, that there is roads in Middlesbrough where you can't get Virgin broadband because literally they stopped digging the road up that day, so they had to stop somewhere. So there's roads in Middlesbrough where number 10 can get Virgin and number 12 can't, because it doesn't go that far. They just stopped laying, like one day they just stopped. And I've heard loads of stories like that. Yes, Nicky, how are you doing? With the new avatar there, is that your dog, is it? What's that? Looks like a Staffy. Can't see how tall it is, but it looks like a Staffy. How are you doing anyway, live follower? Seeing you popping up in a few chats, to be honest. Hips going there. I am the swan and only. Nobody I'd rather be. Here he is, the Ernie Buick from Wish. Bull Mastiff, yeah, I can see that now. Yeah. Just when you're looking at an avatar, like, especially with that shot, it looks like that shot is like, looking down on the dog. You can't sort of work out the size of it from the picture. It's mad, isn't it? It's mad, isn't it, that they're doing it. It's like quite common now, isn't it, to do DNA on your dog or whatever, to tell you what breed it is. It's crazy, isn't it? But yeah, I'll just tell you this quick story, right? So there was a story a few years ago of a company that was working out of Stockton, which is a town just a few miles away from me. Not a big town, but that's where its headquarters were, and it was advertising DNA tests. If you wanted a DNA test, and it was all done through the post. You posted like a sample, like a toothbrush or something, and it was like if you wanted to prove like you were somebody's dad or whatever. But you know what? They got done, right. They were charging £500 a go, right? But they got done for not even doing the tests and just sending people results, just making the results up. They got done in the courts for it. Imagine that. Like, how could you ever trust that? Like, you couldn't really, could you? It's when a 50-50 sort of, there's a little bit riding on it, isn't it? You need to get it right, don't you? Like, is it my son or isn't it my son, or is that my dad or isn't it my dad? It's sort of quite important in it that you do the test. I don't think I could trust something coming through the post like that. Probably have it on the mantelpiece for like a year. I would dare open it. Are you grafting like Swanee on a Saturday? Is that a bit of overtime, like, or is that like part of your shift pattern? I'm working tomorrow, like. first 12-hour day shift. I've done 2 nights this week, 12 hours. And tomorrow will be the first time I've worked on a Sunday for 10 months. And the first 12-hour day shift I've done for 10 months. This is the first time that I've had like 3, and I know I've been using like holidays and stuff, but so I don't feel like I've done that many like 40-hour weeks. But tomorrow, this week was just a warm-up for like, this is where it all starts really. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday day shift. Basically get back to what I've always, the shifts that I've always worked, but just haven't done them for ages. That's what I mean. That's what I mean, Nicky. It's one of them, innit? After that long, after that long, like, is it worth putting yourself through it if there was that chance? You know what I mean? I think I would just, like I say, I wouldn't trust the test if it was all by the post and that. If the NHS were doing it, maybe. I wouldn't trust none of these private ones out. You can't. Not with something like that. Oh, so he's one. What do we think about this? So a week on Sunday, my sister and the partner are having a gender reveal party, right? Gender reveal party, I think they're called. It's probably another name for them. So basically, she's pregnant, yeah, and next Saturday find out if it's a boy or a girl. They've chose to find out. Right? I never wanted to, right? So, but gone are the days where you go to the hospital, you know, the mum and dad go to the hospital and you get the scan, they say, right, it's a boy. That's not good enough now. Now, the hospital, on a request, the hospital will seal an envelope, right? And I think that's all you get from a sealed envelope. I don't think they have anything more to do with the process after this. But then that envelope that's sealed, held by the mum and dad, yeah, telling them inside whether it's a girl or a boy, that becomes the focal point of a party, right, with all the family and all that. So there'll be a few drinks, there'll be some balloons and all that. And the highlight of the party is the balloon gets smashed and somebody gets to read whether it's going to be a boy or a girl. Man, what's going on in the world? What's going on in the world, man? Your own sister's doing it. It's off her head, man. Anything for a party, innit? I never wanted to do. I never wanted to know. You know, we do figure before all this, before the scans got to the point where they could tell if it was a boy or a girl quite early. You know what I mean? Before we had that quality of scan, we weren't bothered, were we? It was part of being pregnant, wasn't it? Is it a boy or a girl? And, you know, and that's, for me, you find that out when you've just seen it pop out and the midwife says it's a boy. Traditions, man. There's no traditions anymore, is there? You know what I mean, Jimbo? You know, a lot of us, right? If you think about it, like the age that coming here, like the late 40s, early 50s, barring a few, we're all around the same age, right? And we're definitely the end of the generation. Like stuff we did, just the dawn, it's phasing right out now. Like like our age group went through this generation where there was loads of stuff going on, but there might only be the odd group that do the same stuff now, and the 18-year-olds now wouldn't dream of, they wouldn't understand anything, you know what I mean? There is examples, but I can't think off the top of my head. Look at that, man. There's 1-1 draws flying about all over, and we haven't got any. I think there's 2 or 3 1-1 draws in the Premiership. Well, as the generations go down, I think that's as far as you can go back for doing stuff that your grandparents used to do. Maybe there's a few things that we still do the same out of like habit, but that generation's definitely moved into it's a new phase now. Like mobile phones only come out when I was 18, so we grew up without a mobile phone, and and you had to have, for the first year when mobile phones come out, you had to have money to have a mobile phone. It wasn't like you get them for now, and we did get them for now with contracts, but it wasn't like, I think it was about a year before, your average Joe Blogs had a mobile phone that they could actually use use it without knowing how much you were going to get charged. You know what I mean? You know what my first ever contract was? It was a Nokia. It was a Nokia black orange. Yeah, it was a contract. The contract was, did I pay? I think I paid £15 a month, right? I got a free Nokia phone, which is the classic old Nokia, not the 3310, the first one. Black, dead stylish. Played Snake on it and that. And the contract was £15 a month with Orange. And what I got 100 texts a month, right? 100 texts a month, and I got 20 minutes a day, like calls. 20 minutes, free calls a day. And once you went over that 20 minutes, it was something like £1 a minute. Or if you went over your texts, it went up. If you went over 100 texts, it was costing you 20 pence a text after that. That was like the first contract I had. Some of the first Motorola ones, mate, were huge, weren't they? But I can remember because I was working in this gym, right, and it was quite posh. And I worked behind the counter, like when they come in to go train or whatever. I was the first person in the scene, and so I got to know all the members and all that. And there was a few people who were like, a few judges used to go in there, and a few people who had clubs, and they all had nice cars and all that. I remember this one bloke was the first one to come in, right, with a big, massive Motorola phone. Like, it was massive. He put it on the top, showing off and that. And I just remember thinking, oh, man, that's a mobile phone. Check it out. And honestly, it just looked like an ornament. It was huge. But anyway, right, another bloke come in who knew this bloke, and he was like, "Oh, look at that! Can I ring me mate in America?" And the bloke was like, "Yeah, yeah, if you want." Yeah, he was going, "Oh, sound." And he was on the phone for about half an hour. It was me in America. He was going, "Yeah, I'm on a mobile phone, mate. I'm on my mate's mobile phone." Probably cost him about 200 quid for the call. But it wasn't long before, like I say, I think it did take a year or two before everyone had a mobile phone. But orange were the kiddies back in the day. Like I did. I used to say I used to get free sunbeds and that way. But we had one sunbed in this gym, right, and it was a proper, when they first come out, like a wood, like a pine frame with just pulled it over yourself. It was an outflash. It didn't even have a fan on or anything, right? And you had to go on for half an hour. It was half an hour, like, which is like a day now, innit? You know what I mean? You go on for 6 minutes, an hour, 9 minutes, and you stand up, don't you? Well, this was an old-fashioned one. And at the end of every shift, or even on my dinner, I'd always like jump in the sunbed for half an hour. Half an hour. Imagine wasting half an hour of your life laid on a sunbed when you can do it in like 9 minutes. I know. And you know what? You used to just used to be like proper sweating after like 10 minutes, but you just put up with it. But you know what? I know a load of people had the same problem, right? But when I went on the sunbed, I ended up with 2 white dots on my shoulder blades, right? So I could get as brown as I wanted, but I always had these white dots, pressure points. And I remember thinking that's no good, that like you don't want these big white spots on your back with a nice tanned body, do you? I could never get rid of them. That's why I was buzzing when the stand-up ones come out. Oh no, well they were definitely ripping us off, Jimbo, weren't they? Knowing what you know now, right? They were ripping us off, charging us 50p a minute, weren't they? When there's absolutely no difference at all. It's like can you remember when like BT, everyone was with BT, weren't they? Because BT just had it all themselves, didn't they? The whole market, the telecoms market, just everything was BT, all your phone lines and all. But I can remember the times when I'd come in from school and I'd ask my mum if I could use the phone. Can I use the phone, mum? Well, who are you ringing? Just me, mate. Well, how long will you be on? Just 2 minutes. And you'd literally pick the phone up because you didn't dare work a phone bill up. We all know now that just costs nothing at all, does it? So they were having our eyes out, man, for years and years. And and then they'd say, oh, free calls after 7 o'clock on a Friday all weekend, free calls, landline calls. So you'd be waiting all week to ring everyone on a Friday. And you'd be like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to stay on here for hours here. Just get me money's worth. There were some of the daft deals that they used to do. Well, I think we got a bit ahead of ourselves with them bets, lads. But you know what? It was still in with a decent shout about until about 20 minutes ago. Rangers are getting beat. Quaver, what's going on? There's only a couple of minutes left on, and Motherwell are beating them 1-0. What's everyone doing tonight anyway? Because tell me now 5 o'clock. I've got to finish this, and I've got to go to the chip shop. I've got to go to the chip shop. I need to get something to drink as well. So I will be wrapping it up very shortly. Yeah. Oh, offside goal was it? Naughty that like. Yeah, so I'll probably get sat down for about his flavours still on Quaver. I noticed he had a zoot there earlier on, so that means I don't know, what does it mean? Sometimes it's good to go on flavours early on, but Saying that, I reckon flavours will go right through. QPR 6-1. Man. He's not. Oh well, I reckon he'll definitely be back on night. Let's have a quick look who's on. See, how's the dart been getting on anyone? Because I haven't watched any, since that Luke Littler was winning everything. Is he still? I know he's proper turned pro now. Is he still winning all the time, or what? So I know there's been competitions every week, and I've seen little clips pop up with his face on. Oh, Jimmy's been on for an hour. Danny G singing live. Oh, Jesus Christ. How come that Art Hostage just started doing his lives like on an afternoon and that? Thought he was always like doing them on the night one. Flavor's been finished ages ago. Yeah, Bidsy on Steve the Mountain Man. Go and have a watch of that. If you like Bidsy, go and have a watch of Mountain Man's from last night. He's live now, but he's got some bloke out of ZZ Top. He gets all the Americans and that on, all the weirdos. This bloke with the like Harry Potter wizard beard. Looks like a Hell's Angel or something. Steve just sits and talks. Oh, and Armchair Arthur's done a video this morning as well. I haven't watched it yet. Armchair Arthur looks brilliant. Have a look at his thumbnail for his video, man. Brilliant. Like Armchair Arthur, like he has been on here a few times actually. Yeah, we got on all right when he was one of his biggest fans. Like, right, Jimbo lad. Same here. Going to the chip shop and get some supplies in. So nice one, everyone, for coming in. And I'll see you all very soon. Yeah.